Hi, I've started working on a new game where the world is procedurally generated. This is a step-by-step presentation of what I've done so far. The player will be traveling from planet to planet, and I'll try my best to make the planets not only visually different, but also different in gameplay mechanics. This is the beginning. First off, we add some terrain and some simple movement. Next I add biomes that spawn on the surface. Right now it's just two different types of grass, and you can see that the grass is wavy. I have a mask surface that tells the shader where to apply the effect of the dancing grass. Next I added oversprites. It's just an extra image drawn on top of the floor tile. This will create more variety and can be anything from creature bones underground to roots or plants, and it can be different for each type of tile or biome. Here I just added the dirt tiles have these extra images drawn on top of them. They also have their own effect in the shader, marked differently in the shader masking surface, so you can see that it's shiny. Next I added light that shines on top of the tiles. It just looks better. Next I made my own animation software that simply moves, rotates or scales images across frames and smoothly transitions each part between frames. There's no fancy bone system, there are just parts, and some parts are grouped together to rotate around a point. This will be awesome because this will make every part customizable in the game. So I just made some basic animations, idle, walking, and so on. Then I added these animations to the game, and it's starting to look good. Look, and it's very smooth. The transition between each animation, and also this will work very well with increased frame rates like 120 FPS. It will work. I'll utilize these extra frames, and the same is if I do slow motion effects, it will look really good because this is not drawn frame by frame. Then you wouldn't be able to interpolate between the frames. Now I can. Next I added plants that appear on top of the tiles. This adds a lot to the world, and yeah, they move, they react to the player, and they will be randomized from planet to planet. They will be randomized. Next, of course, there has to be trees, and these are also procedural, and also they spawn differently based on the biome or surface biome that they stand on. Yeah, and you can climb trees, of course. You can climb and jump from tree to tree. And of course you will be able to cut them down. This is just testing. This will be so much better with sound effects. Next I started working on the HUD. I made a minimap, a quick bar slot, and then I created the big menu. I added the test weapon with the description and stats, and these stats all apply to the effect of the weapon. You can move around in the inventory and also you can assign to a slot, quick slot bar. This gave me so much headache to make, but it's done. And yeah. Then I added a pickaxe and made it work. And I made it that the weapon shows on your back, at least on the first 2 slots. You can see what you have equipped. Here I added backgrounds. The backgrounds are also procedurally generated, with the basic shape of the mountain being randomized, and then the texture is also randomized. Same with the tree layer, it just follows the same pattern of generation as the foreground trees. So they will be matching. The planet will have different types of trees, and the trees you see on the surface will be the same trees you'll see on the background. Next I added a day and night system with multiple stars, moons and planets orbiting in the sky. This is just for testing, but yeah, it will be different from planet to planet. Then I added a simple shadow system that just blocks off visibility. I will later add torches and flashlights. This just looks very good. And here are some different seeds for the random generation. So I'll just have to work on the plant distribution and the variety of biomes and more variety in the backgrounds, trees and everything. And it'll look much more different from planet to planet. Right now I'm working on tile placement, and I'll be working on creature generation. They will also be procedurally generated. The same goes with civilizations generation. Different races will exist in different planets, and they will have their smaller civilizations, like villages. Mostly will be primitive, but yeah, the buildings that will spawn, I'll try to make some structure so there's like a government type building or a central building, and then there are housings and manufacturing areas, small to medium sized villages, and people that will be walking around. Not people, humans will be different creatures. Yeah, thanks for watching. I'll try to work as fast as I can. This was all made in like 3 weeks, and I'll just keep adding more and more content. See you next time.